Chelsea captain Reece James shares his thoughts ahead of the massive Champions League clash against Bayern Munich. From the team's preparations to his confidence in the squad, hear directly from the leader himself as the Blues gear up for another European night. Stay tuned, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Chelsea coverage.
To Munich, how are you feeling on the eve of this new Champions League campaign?
No, I'm excited, happy to be back, in this competition, competing against, the best teams.
How does it feel as club captain, preparing to lead your team out in this competition this season?
Yeah, no, it's a proud moment for me. I've played in this competition before, but never, to lead the team out. No, it's something I've dreamt of, since a little boy, and I'm happy I'll be doing that tomorrow night.
You mentioned that you've played in this competition. In fact, you've played more than anyone else in this current squad in the Champions League. How much will that experience benefit you and the group going into these opening games?
Definitely the experience, will help, and I'll try and help, as much of the other players as I can as well. And I wouldn't look at the squad and say anyone's, inexperienced. They're all, got good experience, just in different competitions.
Are you seeing that personality coming through in those players? Because it feels like collectively you are growing in experience when it comes to big games, big competitions.
Yeah, I think, finals speak for themselves. We won our last season. And yeah, I think, that shows, how far we've come and, the trajectory we're going on.
It's a really interesting point, like you say, 2 finals, 1 last season, including obviously the Club World Cup in the US. What does that do for the winning mentality and the hunger of the group?
No, I think obviously winning is, what everyone wants, and, the minute people start to sense that feeling of winning, it drives, more hunger and, urges people to, to win again.
And of course, as you mentioned already, this is a competition that you've won already. Take us back to that incredible night and how much you use that as motivation going back into the Champions League this year.
Yeah, no, it was one of the best nights of my life against Man City. That was, favourites at the time. I know it was an amazing feeling, and I hope, one day to recreate something similar.
And here in the Allianz, it's a place that holds so many special memories for everyone affiliated with Chelsea. You're going to make me feel very old when I ask you this question, but take us back to being a young boy, obviously with the Chelsea Academy. What are your memories of watching that final in 2012?
I was watching it with my family. I was so young at the time.
Stop it.
I don't recall too much, but I remember it enough.
How special a group was that? Because I know as a Chelsea fan, as a boy coming through the academy, so many of those players and personalities were people that you looked up to, weren't they?
There was many players, I looked up to that played in that final, and to see, what they done that day, and how they was behind the whole game, and then to claw it back and then to win it at the death was, amazing, and it shows what this club fights for.
And finally, there's a pattern emerging there, as you were alluding to there. We went into the game as underdogs here in Munich, in Porto against Man City, underdogs, Club World Cup, underdogs. Does that spur you on as a group going into these big matches, these big moments?
No, I think it slightly helps a bit, because the pressure is on the other team that's kind of expected to win. But no, I mean, regardless of favourite, not favourite, I believe in back, our team and our club.
Well, enjoy it and good luck.
Thank you.